I think I just grow tired of this idea that Chicago is this hyper violent space or place when we know that people are not being invested in and people are actively being harmed by a system and dealing with generational trauma, situational trauma, and the effects of white supremacy.
I'm Andrea Hernandez, and you're listening to Our Stories, Our World. This podcast series, led by young people like me, features Chicago stories about public health, public safety, and public education. Each episode uses the power of a single personal photo to spark a conversation about what matters to our guests. The theme of this episode is public safety. Tynetta Muhammed is a student and a teacher. Her beliefs about public safety took shape as she lived through the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans. Today, she works as a Chicago organizer and abolitionist and is determined to stand up and speak up about the importance of investing in communities, not police.
Hi, my name is Tynetta Muhammed. I'm 25 years old and I live on the south side of Chicago. And I work as the Chicago chapter organizer for BYP 100. And BYP 100 is Black Youth Project 100. It's an organization of 18 to 35-year-olds and anyone in between or outside of the age range who believes in bringing those who are Black and queer, who are oftentimes marginalized, into the center and amplifying their voices. And we take an abolitionist approach to doing that work. Abolitionists are not looking to just throw people to the wolves. We're looking to come together and find what our alternatives are. We don't have to live in a world with policing and surveillance. And we have lived in a world before that. I grew up in Louisiana, and when I lived in Louisiana, Katrina hit, and there were thousands of people trying to leave New Orleans or escape the floodwaters. And police officers protected capital so much in the city of New Orleans that people who were going into stores that were flooded, right? They were arresting them, shooting them, and sometimes killing them for trying to save their own life. That's all the spark that I need to know that we don't need the police. So in this photo, it is a picture of folks in the background holding a banner. That banner is cut off. So you only see a K and you see a 1 and a small slither of a 2 and defund the police right in the background. But the full banner would say fuck 12. 12 means police or cops. And then as you move across the photo, more towards the right of it is myself being interviewed on the 19th of August with a shirt on that says, "We who believe in freedom." I have on a black fanny pack that says BYP 100's logo on it, and a hat that has BYP 100's logo. And I have a person holding up a mic to my mouth for the Channel 2 News. And I'm holding my own mic and my own phone in my hand as I read through my notes or skim through my notes and speak my speech about this rally that I'm at. I think the first person who sees this is going to say fierce and strong if they see the photo, right? They're going to say, oh, this seems so like, yeah, we're taking on the world and we're fighting and all of that. But for me, this photo represents gentleness. It represents wellness. It represents protection. It represents love. It represents care. In terms of the day was nice. The sun was out. We were across the street from a police department in Inglewood on the corner. And I said my piece in front of them because I'm fearless and I believe in what I say. We're at a Stop Shot Spotter rally. It's a rally and a teach-in to cancel the Shot Spotter contract. it was supposed to be canceled on that day, which is exactly why we did the rally. But without the public's opinion, or even the knowledge of the aldermen in the city of Chicago, CPD continued this contract for an additional year or two. And it was really frustrating for people in that area to find out so late that we thought we were in this process of canceling the ShotSpotter, which is an audio surveillance device that is primarily put in Black and brown neighborhoods to detect gunshots. We thought we were on this track to like cancel it by August 19th, and then the rug was pulled from under us, even though this contract takes $33 million every single year that could be invested into community infrastructure. And the ShotSpotter audio surveillance technology has shown to not be efficient in reducing gun violence. The failures of ShotSpotter is that it can't differentiate loud noises from one another. So it may not even be a gunshot. It could be a car backfiring or a loud drop from construction. You just have no idea. And the deployment of police officers through ShotSpotter technology led to the killing of Adam Toledo in the city of Chicago. BYP 100 started in 2014, and it was just started by Dr. Kathy Cohen, and it was a convening from the Black Youth Project, which is a project that Dr. Kathy Cohen from the University of Chicago was working on, where she invited youth from all over the country to come to Chicago. And those youth were actually in the room together when the Trayvon Martin verdict was being read off. And they were just heartbroken at the fact that there was a not guilty verdict, right? And this person got to walk free after killing Trayvon Martin, and spurred them into action. I came into BYP 100 after the unjust killing of Laquan McDonald in the city of Chicago, where police shot Laquan McDonald 16 times while he was holding a knife. And this is a really heavy thing. BYP was around at the time, and I happened to go to a rally, and I saw folks there like helping with the structuring and like moving folks and holding a lot of different things. And even through my pain, I had such a deep appreciation for this understanding of like how we keep each other safe. The beauty of abolition is that, and abolitionists, is that we don't know everything. We don't know what the next iteration looks like. But we do know that there's an opportunity to have people go into communities and de-escalate without threatening them or taking their life. So when I think of defund the police, my understanding of it is not just defunding the police and leaving the world to figure out what happens next, but it's an understanding that we are going to actively think together as a community about what is next in keeping each other safe, what is next in investing in one another, what is next in creating community care and accountability. When we look at police, we are asking police to hold many jobs as like therapists and healthcare workers and de-escalators and social workers and all these different things, right? And police officers are not that. They have been given some training, they get a gun, they go into communities, and they hold and carry with them all of the biases and traumas that exist within themselves before they became police officers. I think even when we think about the idea of safety, we have to unpack that too, because for a lot of Black and brown people, a lot of queer folks, there is no such thing as safety in a white supremacist world, right? And so I use terms like wellness and protection, which is actually, WellPro was coined by Malik Alim, who was a former member of BYP 100, helped create the Let Us Breathe space, and was a part of Defund CBD and just unfortunately passed. So we use this understanding of wellness and protection, or WellPro, because we are well within our bodies, and protection because that is the thing that we can do. We can protect each other. I think I just grow tired of this idea that Chicago is this hyper-violent space or place when we know that people are not being invested in and people are actively being harmed by a system and dealing with generational trauma, situational trauma, and the effects of white supremacy. So I think that we put too much on individuals when the reality of the matter is that people are not being invested in, and that is violence. When we don't have the resources, when people don't have the resources they need, they're going to get the resources they need. And we know that the safest parts of Chicago are not where there's the most police, but the safest parts are where the most resources are. So this picture, for me, represents care. It represents love. It represents accountability. It represents wellness and protection, because we know that we keep each other safe. And we existed before police, and we will exist after them. We existed before slave patrols and slave catchers, and we will exist after state-sanctioned violence in this current time.
This has been Our Stories, Our World, a limited podcast series created by Chicago youth. Our Stories, Our World is brought to you by Public Narrative and APicture'sWorth, two nonprofits focused on community building and narrative change. Thanks to Tynetta Muhammed for sharing her story, and to our story gatherer, Andrea Hernandez, for interviewing and hosting. Our music was created by Chicago artist Malky. Our podcast artwork is by Dan McDonald Studios. Our audio producer is Brooklyn's own Samantha Gatzek. The executive producers of Our Stories, Our World are Alyssa Yancey and Mareva Lindo. That's me. Find more episodes and detailed notes at APicture'sWorth.org/public narrative. If you enjoyed this episode, we hope you'll share it and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Support our work by making a donation at publicnarrative.org/donate. Tune in again in 2 weeks for the next episode of Our Stories, Our World. Thank you for listening.